Ooh, fuck. I didn't even check. A fucking thing of beauty. I don't want to play as a scout, to be honest. How the fuck do you even win a match holding two? Oh. Out of the three, that makes sense. Alright, never mind. Well, I guess we'll just do checkpoint. I might do it with the M60, because I was having a little fun before I hopped off Arena yesterday. Yeah, kind of cheesy, but... Or I don't even know what we play with. But we'll go slide over to Tarkov after like 1 or 2 matches, something like that. We're gonna have to go to interchange though. We gotta get the manifest and something.
Holy shit.
Paraquat is so toxic that it is actually used in research settings to induce Parkinson's in rats and mice. It actually interacts with oxygen within the plant to create something that's called superoxide, basically a highly unstable form of oxygen. And then I'm going to simplify this, but basically it burns it from the inside out. It is a product that if you apply onto a plant in a matter of hours, it's destroyed.
Oh, manifest, and then we need to try to get a defib, so... Hopefully we can hit up pharmacy. If we find a defib, we're just going to skedaddle.
It is unbelievable.
And then we got to plant these markers. We got this one. And then I died. Oh my god. Yeah, dude, I got so fucking sour. I don't normally get frustrated, but I was like, fuck this. I'm getting off. We'll go back and get these 3 tankers and press forward.
Unbelievably toxic. I say that to just bring up this point. When we talk about this issue, we're going to get into the issue of agency capture of our government. Because Paraquat was actually originally formulated by Syngenta, the now Chinese-owned company. Syngenta sells this product still, and the country of China bans it. They won't even allow it to be sold in the country of that owns the company. 50 countries ban this product. If you want to spray this product, as a farmer, as an applicator, here's all you need to do. You have to take an applicators class, which is an online class that lasts between 30 and 60 minutes. And you can go buy and use this product. There have been stories about people in medical journals that have gotten, through spraying for crops, have gotten enough on their skin that they literally just died from topical exposure.
Shit.
And it does the same thing in our body. What it does is it enters in, and it actually accumulates in the lungs, it reacts with oxygen, and then it starts to create what's called superoxide, and it will, I'm using a simple term, burn you from the inside out. It'll just start to kill you. And long-term exposure at lower doses gives you a 2.5 times more likelihood of getting Parkinson's. Because the neurons in your brain, the dopamine neurons that operate with a lot of oxygen, it starts to kill those because it's looking for oxygen. We know all this data. This is, like I said, they use it in laboratories to create Parkinson's, and it's still legal to be sprayed. It's still used on hundreds of thousands of acres in Iowa alone. So we talk about the safety of products and whether or not our agencies are there to protect us. They are not. They've been captured. And I have sympathy for farmers because they're in this cycle where they're using products and they're trying to fight weeds and all these things, and they are operating on razor-thin margins where the opportunity to try some other method of farming is almost non-existent. And so many of these people just feel stuck with that.
Damn.
So Paraquat is one of the most poisonous substances. Literally, one, if you had a spoon and you just had enough to cover the tip of the spoon and you ingested it, you die. And we have tremendous amounts of evidence on this. And so when I get to glyphosate, often I'll see people on X or somewhere saying, you just had enough to cover the tip of the spoon and you...
Damn.
So paraquat is one of the most...
Paraquat, dude. What the fuck? I think that's what he's talking about. Only available to certified trained applicators. He was talking about that being like a 30 to 60 minute CB or computer-based training. That don't look too good.
Poisonous substances. Literally, one, if you had a spoon and you just had enough to cover the tip of the spoon and you ingested it, you die. And we have tremendous amounts of evidence on this. And so when I get to glyphosate, often I'll see people on X or somewhere saying, like, if you think glyphosate's bad, what about this? What about paraquat? Like, I understand that. But when you get to glyphosate, there's so much that's being obscured about the truth of it and what's happening with it. Just to the basic point of the two separate types, that is traditional glyphosate, the molecule that's pure, and the formulated glyphosate-based herbicides. These are the ones that are up to 50 times more toxic. The EPA does not require the registrant testing on these, just on the molecule, on the traditional glyphosate. So when the EU banned our version of glyphosate, they did it because the formulation was so toxic. It actually, pure glyphosate has trouble getting into your bloodstream without the surfactants that I mentioned earlier. But when you formulate it specifically to penetrate the dermis of a plant, it'll do the same thing to your skin. 30% of what's on your skin will enter your bloodstream.
We're not going to play with the M60. It sounds great. We're going to go with the Juice Cannon. And then maybe the NL. I don't know. I don't even remember what my third gun is, to be honest. Fuck you, boo! Ah! There ain't no fucking way I was killing that third, dude. I can't believe I killed that second guy, dude. No! We're gonna lose this one, dude. I already have a feeling. Bro, that guy just tanked a fucking headshot.
Point B. Pull it together.
Fuck, dude. I died to the fucking fall. I should have jumped. I don't even know if I killed that fucking guy. Fuck! I'm not gonna lie, I would have killed him too. He did get him. Nice. Back out. Fuck! Davis, sorry! I had to decide. They were both literally coming at the same time, which was my fucking luck. That hurt like a motherfucker. just not a big fan of warming up on checkpoint, dude. No, 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 no. I have to repack.
Okay.
Where the fuck did the other guy go? Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Fuck, bro, that jump is a little much sometimes. Damn, dude. We might have just lost. It's like every possible thing I could do incorrectly, I'm doing incorrectly, dude. Fuck, sorry, Corp. Dude, what the fuck is the matter with me? I can't fucking do this. Maybe it's the gun. That motherfucker right there is annoying as shit, dude. Fuck, bro, that guy rolled all over me, dude. That fucking hurt. I wouldn't even got in fourth place, to be honest, boys. Damn, that was a full-ass leg of metal, too. Hopefully it was worth it. Oh, you know what? I don't even have a foot grip on. We're probably going to fuck with the MCX then. This class seems kind of fun. We got some 40 bangers in there too. I kind of want to do a last tier to warm up a little bit more, but I don't know if it's worth it.
10% of your cardiac output goes in your bone marrow. And in bone marrow, it disrupts the cell replication cycle. But here's something that I haven't yet talked about, and that I want your listeners to understand, is that many people who avoid products that could have glyphosate in them, residues of glyphosate, they eat organic diets and all these things, they'll still show up that they have glyphosate in their urine. And the reason glyphosate is so talked about and so dangerous is because it's the most widely used herbicide in the history of the world. It's used everywhere, not just on ag applications. Consumers buy it at Home Depot. Glyphosate is a chelator. It's looking to bind. It's actually one of the most powerful chelators, meaning I won't go deep into that. It's looking to bind things. What does it bind most closely to? What does it grab onto? Calcium. So there's actually papers coming out now that are saying, they're theorizing that the reason this is happening, by the way, 1983, Monsanto did a study, a rat study, that they did not ever publish publicly, but the EPA had, and the EPA referenced, so we know basically what's in it. And in that study in 1983, they were testing where does glyphosate stay the longest, what tissues. And where it stayed the longest was bone. And what the thought is now is that the reason is glyphosate is actually going into your bone marrow, it's attaching to calcium in your bones, and it's creating basically a repository of glyphosate on a slow release cycle. And so when you're releasing it into the bone marrow on a slow release cycle like that, and you're disrupting the cell replication cycle, because this is how cancer starts, is that you damage the DNA, and we know glyphosate is genotoxic, we know this, that it's creating like a bank of glyphosate in there. And that's why people who have stopped eating this stuff for a long time will have that continue to come out in their urine. So what's happening with this is that we know that it causes non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. We have a ton of data and evidence that it's genotoxic and that the cancer that's going to come out of this is non-Hodgkin's lymphoma primarily. But when the EPA doesn't even require you to test, now, for the people out there that are going to challenge me on this, they don't require you to do the long-form chronic toxicity tests on the glyphosate-based herbicides, the ones that are formulated, that are way more toxic. They require that just on the product. And this is how so much of this is obscured. You can pull out study after study that will show that this product, pure, it doesn't have a high risk profile, which, by the way, most of those are industry studies. We know this. Like the EPA, when the EU banned this version of glyphosate, the industry submitted 1,500 studies. Many of them they wouldn't even allow publicly to be released, but they're all industry studies. And so the big difference between the EU's determination on the safety and the EPA's was three primary things. Number one, the EU used glyphosate-based herbicides, the more toxic version that everybody's actually using. Nobody's spraying pure glyphosate. Number two, they looked at dose-dependent exposure, so not just like what's the overall cancer rate. And then there was one other category that they looked at that differentiated greatly. It's slipping my mind right now. But what the EU came to was that yes, this is a probable carcinogen, and they have far lower levels that are allowed in their bread, far lower levels allowed in their food. So the agencies have been captured. And now we are facing a situation where in Iowa, there's between 6 and 9 agriculture chemicals within the wells in our state, where it's everywhere.
Is it even possible to get rid of it?
Yeah, it is. Here's I had somebody once tell me recently, he's like, hey, you need to be more positive. Because
I mean, out of the wells.
Yeah, well,
can you get it out of it? Can it be?
I haven't done the research on wells. In soil, yes. So like glyphosate will stay in soil for a very long time. However, there are products, they're very natural products. It's broken down by bifidobacterium bacteria. Very interesting. There's lactobacillus bacteria breaks it down. And so we have amazing scientists and researchers that are helping to develop better products, but we have such a captured agency structure that oftentimes we're not able to get to market. Many times farmers have been lied to say that like people that think glyphosate is bad or liberals hate farmers and all these things when we're the exact opposite. So as far as wells, I don't know that, but I do know we can get it out of the ground. There's some really interesting studies that have been done on that, and 80-90% of it within 7 months using certain natural products. If I could close on the glyphosate piece on one thing, it would be just to help people understand in this debate that's going on right now all over about what is happening with residual levels in our food. Ron DeSantis just recently had that. His Surgeon General released the findings of glyphosate in bread. And when you talk to people that are in the industry, and there's so many of these paid people that are on social media on X that are just like out there to put out this information, defending Monsanto, defending Bayer, defending glyphosate, defending what they are saying is like agriculture when that's not what they're doing. They're not defending agriculture because they're also exploiting our farmers. What they often talk about is that yes, but the exposure levels are so low, they're way below the tolerance levels that are allowed. And this is something that really infuriated me as I dug deep into this. When you look at tolerance levels that are allowed in food products, you think that when you hear this, it's like, okay, well, if in wheat, 5 parts per million are allowed in wheat, you think, okay, well, that must be a level that's been deemed to be like safe, because if you have more than that, you can actually be illegal to sell the product. But you can't sell it. It's been considered adulterated. And so I was looking into this, and what I found out was this: that level can be changed by the industry if they petition the EPA. So for instance, in the 1990s, the allowable level of glyphosate on oats was 0.1 parts per million. When the industry started moving to desiccation, spraying this product to kill the plant at the end of the growing cycle, when they started to change the desiccation, they lobbied the EPA to change how much is allowed on oats. And remember, if you had over 0.1 parts per million in the 90s, it was illegal to sell the product of oats. They lobbied and got a 20,000% increase.
Holy shit.
200 times what was previously allowed was now allowed. And here's why. Because that's what they needed to be able to use the product to spray at the end of the growing cycle. So they went and said, what do we need this to be allowed at? How much glyphosate is actually on the product after we do this desiccation process? And that's what we need to petition the EPA to get. And Monsanto did that, and they got it.
shit.
And so the upper level of this, you see the common question would be like, okay, well, what's the limit? Well, these are what's a reference dose modeling. Basically, the limit is when it gets to a point where they determine that if it goes higher, and there's a buffer there, if it goes higher, it'll start causing organ damage.
Holy shit, man.
So there's a blank check to just say, hey, now it's 5 parts per million allowed on wheat. But if we have a new practice that's going to increase that, we'll just petition the government and get them to go to 10 parts per million, even though they just told us that if you're above 5, it's illegal to sell because it's not safe. It's captured. And so the industry's running the show. And the more people dig into this, the more you're going to realize that we are being lied to in this.
It's always the center objective that like determines. Oh, bro, these boys have to be fucking furious with me. Is that not a fucking teammate ahead of me? Like, oh my god. We're gonna lose this one again, dude. We have a man that's AFK, so that's fucking lovely. They're stupid fucking Altons, bro. second one over there. Well, I am fucking dead. Fucking two of them, dude! I can't fucking beat that. This is insane. It's not fun, dude. It is not fun. We need to pull the fucking Alton out of the game. That's it. Win a round without dying in teamfight, blasting, or shootout mode. I literally just made that class too. Fuck, I'm gonna have to drop the MCX. We're gonna go with the Val. At least for... What else? Why does it seem like when I'm working 12-hour shifts, or like in a different country, I feel like I have more time, dude. But now that I'm home, 9 hours, I just feel like my days go by so fucking quickly, and I can't explain it. We're gonna do team fight, but we're gonna use a Val though. I don't normally fuck with the Val on like last hero checkpoint just because you shoot too many rounds, the thing just fucking clogs or jams or whatever. I kind of want to do it on Chop Shop.
Sled. And part of my mission in this is not just to become a governor, it's to give a voice to these issues, to people who are talking about them, and have other people that aren't paying attention to this realize, just like the medical establishment captured us during COVID, just like so many other lives we've seen our government do, we have big business running the show at the detriment of the health of our people.
I mean, before we end on glyphosate, what do you think about this executive order? 18th of February, invoking the Defense Production Act to boost domestic glyphosate production, critical to national security. Love how they threw that in there. Section 3 of the order confers all immunity provided for in Section 707 of the Act to domestic producers. The Act states no person shall be held liable for any act resulting from compliance with the order. Bayer is the only domestic producer. EWG President Ken Cook, in quotes, Trump just gave Bayer a license to poison people, full stop. RFK Jr., who won a $289 million verdict against Monsanto, as an attorney, endorsed the order, claiming it's about national security. Here's some maps for you. We're going to put these up on screen. This is a map of the highest concentrated states of glyphosate. Guess what number one is?
Not anything I'm proud of.
Iowa.
Damn, bro.
Here is another map. We're going to put this on screen too. This is a concentration of cancer. What states have the highest concentration of cancer? Guess what state that is?
Sean, you're saying things that are going to get me very upset.
Iowa. So, okay. So there's those. Now, since we're all fucking concerned about national security here, in 2025 alone, 618,000 people died of cancer in the United States. Now, isn't that a fucking national security concern? RFK? President Trump, isn't that a fucking national security concern? I mean, I don't know what fucking scientists you guys are talking to, but here's the evidence. I know, it's fucking mind-blowing, right? It's that simple. We just fucking solved the problem. But, but national security. What the fuck? Like, what's more? 618,000 people died in 2025, and we're going on about a fentanyl crisis.
Yeah.
Where 100,000 people died. This is over 6 fucking times worse than the fentanyl crisis. And I'm all about stopping the fentanyl crisis. Let's get fucking real here. So what is the national security concern?
Well, he doesn't specify what cancers, though. So he's probably talking about all cancers, but I don't know. I wonder if this contributes to, like, a lot of the cancers, though. I don't know.
Do you know?
I don't know the national. I mean, look, if you want to talk about specifically the national security concern, the only thing that would ever make sense to me in this is that we're about to go to war. That would be it. Is that we're about to go to war, and that they say that if we disrupt this and the import of it, that we're going to disrupt the food production of the country. But I've heard nothing about it. We say, I hate the politics of these things, because when that came out, I was sitting in at my house, and it just popped up, and I said, "What is this?" Because you have to understand, I've been fighting these things. Mm-hmm. Like, I've read the Monsanto cases when they're in court, hundreds and hundreds of pages because I actually care about it. I want to know the arguments. I want to know how does a jury keep finding them guilty, and I do know how they keep finding them guilty, and they are guilty. I've been talking to people in my own state about not passing these pesticide immunity bills, even people that have as their constituency the companies, and just saying, like, look, here's what's happening. They're lying to us, and I can prove this. I know how they're lying. And I have came out as a part of my campaign to not put my head in the sand and deny the truth that's in front of me of what's going on. So that's the backdrop of which I read this. And the most common thing I'm reading about it is that it doesn't provide product liability immunity. That's a complete lie. There's nothing in the executive order, the Defense Production Act, or 707 that excludes product liability. If the order from the USDA, which by the way this is going to be managed by the USDA, is to maintain full production and availability of the product, that they're ordered to do this, they'll use the same type of defenses that were used by Monsanto, by the way, when they created Agent Orange and poisoned so many people. The government in that case, now this was defense, I get that in the sense of we're at war, but we invoked the Defense Production Act. But in that case, when they were using Agent Orange, and there's so many harms from it, because it was a very nasty, nasty chemical, the government ended up paying $50 billion to people hurt by it, while the companies paid about $180 million. My bigger fear about this is that what we've just done is we have offloaded liability onto the taxpayer. And so right when this came out, and this is again about me not being a politician, I voiced opposition to it. And it's not a popular thing to do. But when it comes to taking a stand for the right thing, you have to do it. Mm-hmm. And that could have negative repercussions for me, for sure. But none would be as bad as what you're saying about me going along with this. Jordan Peterson said something I thought was very deep. He said, when you have something to say, silence is a lie. And that's really difficult in politics. Because I think in something like this, the easiest thing for me to do would be to not immediately put out a tweet saying that, my tweet basically said this: there's no potential ban on glyphosate. There's no pending ban on glyphosate. There's no pending shortage of glyphosate. There are only pending lawsuits of Americans who have been harmed by this product. This must be reversed. And so when I look at this, and I hear all these people saying it doesn't provide, absolutely will provide immunity. The word is used right in it. That's on purpose. When they go to court after they invoke the Defense Production Act, when Bayer goes to court on new cases, because they're still not putting a cancer warning on the label, if they just put a cancer warning on the label, future cases would be null and void, because the entire thing is about failure to warn. That's all they have to do, is admit culpability. And what will that do? It'll create a cascade effect of people that jump into lawsuits, because, well, now you're admitting it. And so they can't, to save face, instead of doing the right thing. When they go to court in the future, they will hold a piece of paper that says, which has precedent, that courts will grant immunity, citing the DPA. They'll hold that and say, we were ordered to do this. We didn't have a choice. The safety of the product is assumed in the order, basically. So, my belief, and without going too far into this, is that I believe, and I might be naive on this, look, hold me accountable, but I want Donald Trump to know the truth about this. I want him to understand that there's lobbyists that are doing something, trying to get him to doing something that will end up harming the people that he cares about and loves. There's a big talk about how much he loves Iowa. And I think that, look, I would love to get an audience with the guy and just say, this is what's happening in our state. And these are what these lobbying groups are doing. But I came out right after that was released, that same night, before I had to do a lot more research on it to understand how bad it really was. But I came out and said, this has to be reversed. And that, as I told you before, you don't need immunity for a safe product. The idea that the courts are coming to the wrong decision is completely wrong. Bayer's paid out tens of billions of dollars. They've settled over 100,000 cases. And they have the best attorneys in the world. They know what they're doing. They understand this. Immunity is the wrong way. Like immunity from...
Can you imagine if I could use like SP6 or BP, dude? Why do we get a penalty if people have left the game and it's unplayable? I'm going to try to go in and it's going to be like, nope. 45-second penalty or something stupid. Oh, no, I guess not.
You want the Vaccine Immunity Act caused tremendous issues. This will cause tremendous issues from a health standpoint as well.
I mean, we just pulled the map up.
This is what we're living in.
It's not a fucking coincidence.
No.
Highest concentration of glyphosate, highest concentration of cancer.
Yep. That's why I'm running.
Questions?
Yep.
I mean, man. Want to take a break?
Sure.
Let's take a break. We don't bring on new partners often, but sleep is too important to ignore. When you're not sleeping well, everything. And I'm just going to summarize it. We don't have to rehash it all, but I said, yeah, because they can't talk about it. We just got done talking about the lobbies. They can't talk about it.
Yeah. But,
and they don't give a shit. And I think that's where people are in disbelief that the human being that they elected into power doesn't give a shit about them. I don't think that's computing in people's brains. They don't care. They don't care about you. They care about who's lobbying them, who's telling them what to do.
Really?
They justify it in their mind.
Yep.
You know, they as all human beings do. Every time we're doing something we shouldn't be doing, you always go through, well, you know, it's the mental gymnastics that people will do to justify shit that they shouldn't be doing in their head is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and we've all done it. But this is just, it's another level of evil, you know, that they're
just choosing to believe the lie. Like it's a choice to believe the lie. Because if you're going to choose to believe a lobbyist on something this important and not be willing to go as deep as I have or other people, you know, this is one thing that I've loved about Bobby Kennedy is that, you know, there's this thought all the time about, you know, if you're elected, if you're in a position of authority, what you should be doing is getting experts around you and delegating to these experts. But the experts brought us the COVID response that we had. And what you have to be willing to do is say, I'm not delegating the most important things. I need to have the proper amount of knowledge to make the right decision on these issues. So when Bobby's talking about vaccines, he understands the situation. He's not going to bring some expert in that like is completely counter to him when he knows the truth about what's happening. But when you say this, that the politicians aren't talking about this, it's true. It's very true. I mean, I right now I'm on a political sense, I'm yelling into a void. But on a voter sense, I can't go to a room. You know, we've had a couple town halls in the past week. One was over 150 people showed up. Another one was close to 80 in these smaller restaurants, packed house. And when I get to the fourth point about what my campaign's about, which is stopping the cancer crisis in my state, and I talk about what's going on with big companies lying to us about the safety of their products, 89% of the heads in the audience are nodding. These are Republicans. The voters know what's going on. The problem is there hasn't been.
Why do you say it's just Republicans?
What do you mean?
You don't think Democrats give a shit about cancer?
I just mean in this room it's Republicans.
Oh, okay.
So no. Just in my rooms I'm talking to Republicans in the primary. And so traditionally Republicans are the ones that are not going against what some of these big companies are saying. But I'm saying the voters, they know what's going on. And yes, the beauty of what I am running on and the hope that I am running on, whether it's keeping our kids in the state or saving our family farms or making our education system number one or solving the cancer crisis, is that these are bipartisan issues. I have people comment on X and things like this that are criticizing Iowa Democrats for saying, how do we let a Republican beat us to the punch on this? How do we do that? And it's both sides on the political side. On the elected side of politicians, both sides have been silent on this completely. And then they'll give excuses like alcohol rates, or they'll give excuses like radon, or they'll say we need to have a greater tax on cigarettes. It's like this is happening right now in Iowa. I'm not saying to people, cigarettes have an inelastic demand curve. Meaning, when you tax cigarettes, you're just taking more money because they're addictive products and they're going to continue using them. Meanwhile, Nevada has one of the highest smoking rates in the United States and one of the lowest cancer rates. This is about, again, coming back to being willing to tell the truth, even if it means somebody tells me that they're going to destroy me. It means they're going to come out and attack me or my family or whatever it is. This is what I knew I was getting into. It's why this conversation is so important. Because the voters are talking about this. The people are talking about it. Right now in Iowa, we have the world's largest nitrate removal system on our water supply in Des Moines. Meaning from the runoff that comes off of farm fields, I could talk deeply about what's happening there, but the nitrogen that's ending up from fertilizer in our streams and rivers.
You know what surprised me is last time I was out in California was, oh fuck, that was a minute ago. Maybe like 2005, 2006. We drove from Vegas out to El Central Naval Air Facility, and then out to San Diego too on our last day there. We got this really nice Airbnb. It was a fucking mansion on top of this hill though. It was nice. But what I had forgotten was how much crops California has though. Like it's so fucking irrigated though. It's insane. Like it's pretty cool actually, to be honest. I had forgotten. It had been so long since I've been out to California, and that was Southern Cali. It wasn't even. Fuck, bro. I hate this fucking game, dude. They backed us out of that match. The previous match was like bugged, or kicked a bunch of people. I don't even know. this doesn't go through, I'm just going to do a last hero inside over Tarkov.
Population center. And it's so much that we have the largest one in the world to remove nitrates.
Jeez.
And often it can't keep up, meaning they have to like put notices in that you can't water your lawn because you're stressing the system too much because we can't filter these chemicals out fast enough.
Are you serious?
Yes, this happened last summer in Iowa.
You know, wow. I mean, what is the state place population-wise? It's not a densely populated state. It's not like it's over. It's not like Florida where we're worried about flushing the fucking toilets because so many people are moving there and they're just destroying all the farmland there and turning it into condos and apartments. It's crazy, you know. But Iowa isn't like that. You don't have a house 5 feet from another house, 5 feet from another house. You know what I mean? It's spread out.
It is.
It's very lowly dense. Do you know what it is? I'll bet it's in the lowest.
It's very low population density in Iowa. I mean, our population's just around 3 million. And I don't know what the density though is, but it's very sparsely populated.
So that's what I'm saying. And they have the largest water treatment plant to take
nitrates. So like nitrogen fertilizer out.
Like, look at that shit, man. You know, it's not even that many people using the fucking water. You have the biggest one in the world, and they can't keep up. That's insane.
They can't keep up.
That's how many fucking chemicals are getting dumped in.
We actually had this winter. So what happens is, now look, again, when I look at this, I don't look at it from the standpoint of like, farmers are purposefully doing these things. A lot of times I look at the associations that know better, and they know what's going on, and they give cover. But like, in Iowa, what's happened to cause this is that one of the technologies that farmers have used most recently to increase yield has been field tiling. So 3 feet under the ground or so, there's a perforated pipe. It takes, basically what happens when you have a really wet season, a lot of rain will come down, the water table will rise. When the water table rises, it moves into like waterways, areas that like water goes into, and these tiles, these pipes, bring the water out in daylight and dump it directly into a stream. And so over the past 20 years, we've started what's called pattern tiling, which is like we are putting these corrugated tubes all over the fields, 10 and 20 foot separation, and it's to make sure that the land is farmable, so it's draining water. Well, what's happening there is that when you have a really wet season, the water table rises, and you have nitrogen ammonia, you have nitrogen that's been applied to the field, and it rains. Well, it can't soak down into the soil to purify. So it goes directly into these tiles, and the tiles drain directly into the streams, and the streams drain directly into what in Iowa is the Raccoon River is one of them. Raccoon River is either the most or the second most polluted tributary in the United States.
Wow.
And so when I look at this, I just say,
or probably swimming tube and all kinds of shit.
We have so many lakes that there's notices on signs that you can't swim in them.
Are you because of the chemicals?
There's so many products in there.
Holy shit.
Your listeners can go on and Google this, and you'll find stories of like a woman. This is last year, maybe 2 years ago, who didn't know that, jumped in and her skin got all red, like it was just burning. But we have lakes in Iowa with such high levels of nitrates and products that swimming is barred in them. In Iowa, the Eden of the United States. This is what I go back to. I think when people look at Iowa, they think of like the Norman Rockwell painting of like the cows on the hill, and you have this and the beautiful stream. And when General Albert Lee was coming through Iowa, when they're first on their trek they were going up there.
Iowa. I don't think I've ever spelled Iowa in my entire fucking life, dude. Des Moines. Oh, I've been through there. I've driven through Des Moines before. Damn. Are you fucking serious? I didn't know that was in Iowa, dude. I thought that was a part of Nebraska, boys. Fuck. Yeah, that would make sense, because, like, to get from Cheyenne up to Wisconsin to go see my grandparents, we'd come through, and I think at Des Moines we would head up north of Minneapolis, then up to Duluth. Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%. Oh, fuck. I forgot I was in a... I thought I was in a fucking team fight, but things bugged out. Little turd, how are you not dead, boy?
Fucking mouse is on my screen, bro.
I fucking jammed! No! Don't do it, bro! I got a jam! Poop farter! Ah! How did not one of my fucking shots connect? I was not ready for that. My barrel was gonna jam regardless, dude. 100%. No! That was supposed to be my kill, you fucking fuck. The way I moved, I just shot around his fucking head, dude. Dear God, that aim was horrible. Fucking little shit was above, bro. Fucking slimy little worm, dude. I can respect it. Winning by a cunt's hair, bro. Nope. I didn't know he was up there. God damn it, he fucking took it. Bro, what the fuck am I doing right now? Well, I fucking choked it. That was lame and gay, so fuck that.
They're actually going up the Des Moines River. When he was coming through Iowa, he actually said that in all of his travels, and mind you, he'd been all over the country at this point, he'd never seen a place as beautiful as this. That's what we came from. Now Iowa's the most terraformed place, I believe, on the face of the earth, meaning we've done more to our landscape. So when I talk about the water quality issue, it's a hot button issue. But I've talked to developers in Des Moines who've said, I can't even sell a house if I don't pre-install a reverse osmosis system in here. And I think when I talk about some of the campaign, I just go back to this. I believe that Iowa families are just looking for something that they can count on. Clean water is one of them. Having a safe community is another one. An education system that's not bottom half. Like, these are the common things that people are just looking for. And it's not too much to ask that your government focuses on making sure things that you should just be able to count on are there. Here's one thing I'll tell you about the nitrate removal system. So it'll remove, I don't even know the exact number of how many pounds of nitrogen. Up until recently, after they removed it, they just dumped it back in the river.
Get the fuck out of here. No way.
I'm serious. They now have some biological methods where it'll break down the products. But the way to get rid of it was to put it back in the river. So, again, we have to have clean water in our state. We have to have good education. Our farmers have to be able to make money and not be extorted. And I believe that one of my goals, I've said to people, is that look, over 20 years, we've lost 10,000 family farms. There's no term limits on the governor of Iowa, and I've made it very clear, like, this is not what I want to do for my life. But I want to make sure there's 10,000 new family farms in the state. Or that by the end of my second term, the majority of the food served in Iowa schools actually comes from our state. Common sense things that if we had our eye on the ball, we'd say, this is just good to do. We should employ our people, supporting our kids to grow their food. But it hasn't. 95% is imported. And it's garbage. Like, we know it.
How many other people are on it?
In the primary, there's 5 people running in it.
5 people?
Yeah.
Because as of this recording today, Polymarket, are you familiar with Polymarket?
Yeah.
They give you a 25% chance of winning Iowa governor Republican primary on June 2nd.
We're just getting started.
That's pretty good. I think it was 6%. Then you went on Tucker and it went.
Went up. And this is all about getting a message out.
Why do you think Polymarket jumped that much? I mean,
nobody knows who I am.
what's resonating with you?
Yeah, I think the number one thing is nobody knows who I am. I've never ran for office. So one of the people on there, the only reason that they're as high as they are is because they have and they've been elected and they have name recognition. But I know that the message that we're putting forward about putting Iowa first, about saving our family farms, the things I just mentioned, I know those things resonate. I don't need a poll to tell me they resonate. I hear it from my neighbors. Like, so often when I'm talking to them, they're talking about issues in private that politicians aren't talking about in public. They're not talking about. You go to the cafe and you lean in and you hear what the farmers are talking about. It's the things I'm talking about. The problem is they felt like they haven't had anybody, I believe, I'm not going to speak for them, but and this is how I felt, that there's nobody out there that's willing to give them.
Nice. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't realize this was fucking far on this. We can get our fucking theta, dude. Between Two Fires. Buck, we may do that before I hop off. I don't know.
Them a voice. That's why I say we shouldn't give a Chinese company millions of dollars of tax breaks paid for by Iowans. That we shouldn't have a data center getting $529 million in property tax abatement. That we shouldn't allow our farmers to be exploited or let hedge funds buy our homes. That Iowa, being an Iowan and living in Iowa means something significant. And what it means is not about an economy. It means something about culture and who we are as a people. One of the things that I've had to wrestle with in this whole process is coming away from this idea of like libertarian economic thinking, which was very pervasive when I was a kid, when I was growing up. And that the only thing we should care about is what the market says. Is the market will just determine it. And I don't know how you can look back on what's happened to our country, to our culture, to hollowing out of our communities. I mean, look, even something as simple as in these small towns, we've always had these country food stores. Well, they're going out of business. And what's coming in? Dollar General. And who was the largest shareholder of Dollar General? BlackRock. So the money that used to circulate within my small community, because the owner of the grocery store said, actually, I'm very thankful we do have country foods, but Dollar General set up shop 200 yards away.
The Dow was at 50,000. I don't know what you're complaining about, Zach. The Dow was at 50,000.
Well, our communities are not there. Our communities are struggling, like really struggling. And there's the idea that I talked about in the economic thinking. I call it a religion of economic thinking. I think people have been captured by this religion that says like whatever the market says is best is best. And I'm talking mostly politicians and people in think tanks and all these things that don't spend time in the community. And I've said something that I think people think is kind of radical, is that, look, I'm going to choose community values over shareholder value every day. Because that's what my great-great-grandfather was here for. That's why he came here. He didn't come here to make some company. And I'm not against business. But the extractive nature of what's happened in business in my state is undeniable, and it's making our state unrecognizable. Just when you look at the 24 million acres of ground that's in crops and us losing 10,000 family farms over 20 years. Like, that's life. That's stories. One of my favorite stories that I talk about, and I'm bringing this up now because I mentioned the idea of stories. Teddy Roosevelt famously said that I intend to be a preaching president, to talk about the values of what it means to be an American. And he did. I mean, we got man in the arena from him. Something that I have to find myself reading a lot just to remind myself. Okay, and a lot harder things. When I go out and I talk to people or I'm at an event, I'll start to tell my family history that I mentioned to you. There's not one person in the room, usually, that if I didn't go back 1 or 2 generations with them and their family story, that we just don't have an almost identical story of people who came over here looking to provide a better life and pass something on to their kids. But in our case, that was farmland in a major way, and to create something that they didn't have for themselves and to build their church. We have a shared story. And my hope is to be able to be somebody who's preaching about that. That the fact that more Iowans served in the Civil War per capita in the United States is something to be dang proud of. That we should that should be taught in every single history class in Iowa. That the people who came here before you were courageous, they wanted to build something for you and they were never going to meet you. And you should be proud of your heritage. One of my favorite stories on our farm, I'm a pilot, my dad's a pilot, both my grandpas are pilots. And my grandpa in 1940s, he bought a Taylor Craft airplane for $700. And great-grandpa mowed a runway in the bean field. And he learned to fly there, and that became his whole profession career, as I mentioned. And that took him off the farm. He was the first generation to leave the farm. And he went off and, he worked at Iowa companies as a pilot. He was very good at what he did. He was very proud of what he did. And I think that back then, that was kind of the idea, that take a step away from the farm. Try something new. And I'm very thankful for what he did, because he provided a life for me and my family. My grandma, who's 93 years old today, who's still living on his pension and on what he created for her. And so when I look at me coming back full circle, I think about my grandpa all the time at the farm, whose initials were carved in the house. And just to say, why am I doing this? I'm trying to do something I hope would make him proud. That he'd say, see what's going on in our country, see what's going on in our world, and say, we've got to get back to these roots. So that's my mission.
I think that's a great mission, Zach. I think your message is going to resonate with a lot of people. I know it is. Everybody I talk to is worried about this. It doesn't. I don't even give a shit Republican, Democrat anymore. Like I said, I just want somebody with a spine that's going to stand up for the people. It sounds like you might be that guy.
Well, don't endorse me yet. Wait to see what I do.
Oh, I'm not endorsing that.
Just kidding. I just heard you talk about the other ones. Let me go out and prove myself. I'm just thankful for you letting me have this conversation and hopefully bring a voice to people that have felt like they didn't have one.
Best of luck to you.
Thanks, sir.
Cheers. No matter where you're watching the Sean Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this at all, anything, please like, comment, and subscribe. And most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, head to Apple Podcasts and Spotify and leave us a review.
Well, like we said yesterday, we got some more news as soon as, well, not as soon as, it was a little bit after. The video went live, we got more stuff, and it's kind of what we wanted, right? We want more Icebreaker stuff, and that's what we got. There's a little bit of other news, things to go over, some pictures from Icebreaker, and some stuff from Nikita. So let's get into it and get you guys up to speed. Okay, so first things first, the transfer limit to Arena was increased. This was dumbed down big time at the start of the wipe. Basically, from Arena to EFT, if you have the Rizzy edition, you went from 7...
Wait, what the fuck? When did this happen? I literally just transferred some money. What the hell's a Rizzy edition? Oh, this is not a good place to be.
$750,000 back up to 1.5 million, and GP coins are from 250 to 350. On standard editions, that is 500,000 to a million, and 250 to 350. The transfer limits are separate for PvE and PvP, so you can technically send 1.5 million to PvP and another 1.5 to PvE if you want it. From EFT PV Zone to EFT Arena, you can't send anything from Arena to, or from PvE to Arena, only from PvP to Arena. But that transfer is up for Edge of Darkness and Unheard, 750 to 1.5 million, and standard Left Behind and something, what is PFE? Prepare for Escape, 500 to a million. So yeah, that's increased. That's up there now. A quick reminder, shortly after watching this video, 4 p.m. PST, 11 a.m. Eastern, the Ref Arena event is going to end, so keep that in mind. It'll probably be shortly after this video is live. Okay, now the pictures. We got these pictures from BSG on Icebreaker, more kind of leaks. Some cool stuff. So first one's out front here. Obviously, it's snowing. You can't tell. Now this, it's kind of be immersion breaking, I think, because we're already starting to push into summer in the rest of the game. But it is what it is, and it's probably not going to be that big of a deal. But just keep in mind that we're probably going to be snowing on the Icebreaker. Again, I think this map was supposed to come out in February, maybe March, and just ended up getting pushed back to get it finished. So that is what it is. I'm okay with it. I wish it would have been earlier, but it's not that big of a deal. Second picture is it's a control room of some kind. Now this does not look like the bridge or anything like it. So keep in mind that this is a nuclear powered ship. So this could be the reactor control room, which kind of what it looks like, right? Kind of looks a little bit nuclear control-ish roomish. So that is interesting in the aspect that it made me think that we might actually be getting radiation exposure with this. This is really the first radiation.
What up, Moose? No, not necessarily, man. This could be my last raid, bro. It's 9:30. 9:39. I got to hit the hay here shortly. Yeah, I'm trying to get decent sleep so I'm not tired. It's just kind of fucked, bro, because my sleep is like kind of messed up a little bit right now, dude. I'll like come home from work, eat dinner, and then I'll take like a 30 to maybe an hour nap, dude. And it just like re-energizes me, and I could stay up till like fucking 3 in the morning. But I'm trying to be passed out by 11 o'clock. Get off games, kill the stream by 10, chill for an hour, fall asleep. Get up at like 5:30. 5:25, baby. That's ideal. Yeah, it's just hard as fuck, like, getting away from that nap, dude. I eat dinner and then I'm just exhausted from the day. I'm just like, fuck, dude. Take a little nappy poo right now. And there's not even super long naps. Like, in the past, I've taken naps where, like, bro, I pass out and then I wake up 4 hours later. I'm like, fuck, dude. That like completely destroys my sleep schedule if I take a nap longer than an hour. I have not been getting the greatest sleep the last 2 weeks or so. Fucking my ass. Might be that split sleep too. Fucking hassle. Man, this light is fucking bright. hopefully I can catch a defib, boys. Damn. Oh man, that was kind of a juiced ass little medical box, dude. What the fuck? Me likey, me likey. Maybe the med boxes in here are a little bit better than outside ones? That wouldn't make any sense though. We're gonna head out to the woods, go take care of that tanker. Should be this guy right here, which kind of sucks because I'm gonna have to. Motherfucker, I'm gonna be walking around, bro. I did not get the greatest spawn for this. It's whatever. I have to go blow my nose, dude. I drink all this water and then it like. It goes down into my ball sack and then comes out into my nose, dude, just like as mucus. Or, not mucus. I don't know. Draining nose.
There was an event back in 2023, I think. I didn't go look it up. It was a while, it was a couple years ago, where there was a thing you had to do, and there was a brief bit of radiation exposure. It was nothing crazy. It was nothing in depth. Just a little brief glimpse of it. I'm testing the mechanic. So this could potentially be the first time we see it. There's nothing that points that it's going to be radiation exposure, other than the fact that this is a nuclear-powered ship. And Nikita did mention in the Tarkov TV in December that radiation and toxin and stuff like that wasn't going to be making it into the game in this year. He didn't reference it towards Icebreaker, but we'll see. Now, the next one is some kind of medical room. It's in shambles. It's been kind of ransacked. So either people left in a real big hurry for some reason, or folks were searching for something in here. This could point to some kind of secret research happening on board the ship. So another potential path that the lore could go with on this ship for why we're going out there and why we're going to look. Now, the last one is super cool, interesting. This is the engine room, obviously. It's 4 decks, and all of these are probably underneath the main deck. I mean, maybe this first deck is the main deck and the 3 are underneath. Either way, the verticality of this is
On that map, dude. Like, yeah, you better run, you fucking coward, wealthy booty. Just like, Scav, chill, bro. Chill, okay? we're getting close, I think. Sorry. I might be hearing walking in front of me. Goddamn, that fucking sneeze like hurt my throat. Fuck that. I wish I could just like stick a tube down my left nostril, dude. This is annoying as fuck. We could go pick up my manifest too, boys. I think what we'll probably do is we'll go to Adir, grab my manifest. We'll head to Power Station, grab my tanker. We'll head to the no backpack extract. Get that tanker. We'll go up the rat hallway, like the secret stair. We'll go to Goshen, grab that manifest, and then we'll slide over to Ulay, grab that manifest and skedaddle. I don't think we're gonna try to head up to Ultra, although it is very tempting. I don't think it's worth the risk. It's already most likely been hit. Or what we could do is hit power and hit up there. So I don't know if they fixed the bug where I fucking despise airdrops, dude. We had it pretty good when we used to be able to put ammo up our ass. Where the fuck my manifest at, boy? Oh, I think I need that for something. I think I only need the one too, because I was like a little surprised I hadn't found one yet. It might be for my hideout too, and I believe it has to be found in raid, I'm pretty certain. I did hear movement out here. It might be from the road below, though. I kind of miss the the Pilgrims, I think is what they were called. They were a nice little fight, though. And then, if you got lucky, someone would have like class 5 armor too, which is pretty clutch. You'll never be hitting power for the boys any longer, dude. Think of the past. Why did this song just turn off, dude? I don't even know. I've been paying for Pandora. It's probably like my longest subscription. So what am I, 32? I've probably been paying... I want to say 16, but we'll probably go with 18. Bro, that's 14 fucking years. I think it's like 10 a month or something. It's not much. It's like one of the few subscriptions that I just Oh fuck, it's Tagilla. We could try to find that fountain raid intel I need. That's not nice. $46 kilos. Honestly, we're gonna look around for that intel. It'd be nice if I found a fucking Koftum down here. I mean, I guess they're not super duper hard to find anymore, though. With reserve and whatnot. Where the fuck the juice at, dude? PMC is directly above me. of sucks, to be honest. But that's Tarkov, bro. That's Tarkov, bro. Fuck him lows, dude. Fuck him lows. Peace and lovely, 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 lovely. All right, we're gonna call it there. I need to go to sleep, and we'll be back on in the morning, or not the morning, after work. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so have a good night, you guys.